Hey, UK, I'm Michael Cole, and welcome to this WWF Update. Hey, it's right around the corner. Sunday night, the 5th of October at midnight, live on Sky Sports 1, WWF Bad Blood in your house from the Kiel Center in St. Louis, Missouri. What a card, including Hell in a Cell, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels in a steel cage. In this past week, Raw from Albany, New York, really set the tone for Bad Blood. What about Stone Cold Steve Austin? After delivering the stunner to the head honcho of the WWF, Vince McMahon, 2 weeks ago, Stone Cold was raring to go last week. Vince was to call Austin down to the ring, but actually the bold Stone Cold called Vince into the ring and, in not-so-friendly words, asked Vince what was on his mind. Vince wasn't in a pleasant mood, considering he was stunned by the Texas Rattlesnake the week before. So Mr. McMahon laid down the law, giving Stone Cold 3 options. The Hart Clan. Stone Cold will be at Bad Blood, and listen to this controversial decision by Commissioner Slaughter. Owen Hart and Farouk will meet for the Intercontinental title at Bad Blood, the same title Austin is being forced to forfeit. Now listen to this. The commissioner plans a ceremony where Austin will turn the belt over to the winner. I'm sure it won't resemble the medal ceremony at the Olympics. Anyway, it looks like it'll be open season, Stone Cold style. Also at Bad Blood in your house, Dude Love meets Brian Pillman. Goldust will be handcuffed at ringside, and Marlena will be in Pillman's corner. It's day 30 of Marlena's trying ordeal with the loose cannon, and I bet she can't wait to finally get home to her family. But here we go with another controversial decision by Commissioner Slaughter. If Dude Love beats Pillman, then Pillman must immediately wrestle Goldust in a no disqualification match. Goldust can't wait to get his hands on Pillman the loose cannon, and Pillman better hope he can somehow beat Dude Love. Well, this past week on Raw, Goldust warmed to the occasion by beating the Sultan. Dude Love was at ringside offering commentary and support for the Bizarre One. The Dudester, the chick magnet, eye candy for the ladies. Can you imagine having him supporting you? I'll tell you what, there'd be worse people out there. Anyway, we understand Goldust and Marlena plan to renew their wedding vows this coming week on Raw. I can't wait. I've got my invitation, and I understand Max Mini is actually going to be the ring bearer. Hey, when we come back to WWF Update, we'll look back to The Undertaker versus Hunter on Raw and look ahead to The Undertaker versus Shawn in the cage at Bad Blood.
The sold-out Birmingham NEC was the place to be Saturday night, September 20th. The first ever wrestling pay-per-view in Europe. One night only. The Headbangers defending the WWF Tag Team Championship against one half of Los Boricuas, Savio Vega and Miguel Perez. The battle began even before the bell had rung, a jump start by the Puerto Rican team. But it didn't take long before Mosh and Thrasher, the tag team champions, recovered and gained the upper hand. Both teams worked like well-oiled machines, although at one point the inexperience of the Headbangers showed. But the Headbangers did prove to the world that they are the best tag team out there, retaining the gold and defeating Savio Vega and Miguel Perez. There you see the anguish on the face of an upset Savio Vega. Mosh and Thrasher celebrated the only way they know how. Headbanging with the fans of the United Kingdom. What an event at one night only in Birmingham, September 20th. It was 2 weeks ago as the Birmingham NEC sold out one night only. The champion, Bret Hitman Hart, putting the title on the line against the former champ, The Undertaker. The Undertaker in his zone, the Hitman ready to defend the WWF Championship, greeting the fans of the UK with all smiles. The Undertaker working early, working on Bret Hart with a choke slam. Bret went to desperate measures, trying to untie the turnbuckle, but The Undertaker turned the tie. A backbreaker on the Hitman. The Hitman tried to use the figure 4 on The Undertaker, but The Undertaker broke free and delivered pain to Bret Hart's own legs. Bret then in the sharpshooter, not once but twice, but both times. The Phenom, The Undertaker, broke out of that patented move. A big leg across the sternum, put The Undertaker in control. But then, Bret Hart with a scoop slam. The Undertaker, the reversal, Bret over the top ropes. As Bret gets hung up, Owen Hart comes to his aid. Also, WWF officials, The Undertaker goes berserk, and he slams officials to the ground. Bret retains the championship.
Hey, UK, welcome back to WWF Update. I'm Michael Cole, getting ready, all excited for WWF Bad Blood in your house, Sunday the 5th of October, live at midnight on Sky Sports 1. In addition to Dude Love versus Brian Pillman in the Intercontinental Tournament Final, which we talked about earlier, you'll also see a six-man tag match. The Legion of Doom and Ken Shamrock meeting the Nation of Domination. The Headbangers will defend their tag team titles against the Godwins. And what about the flag match? Bret Hart and the British Bulldog will meet Vader and the Patriot. The Canadian flag will be on a pole in one corner. In another corner, the Stars and Stripes will be flying high. How do you win? Simple. Get to your flag first and take it down. Here's a little sample, because this past week on Raw, Vader met the British Bulldog.
It looks like the big grizzly bear is going to drop a Vader bomb on the British Bulldog.
Now, Vader had the match won after delivering the Vader bomb, but the Hart Foundation, led by Bret, entered the ring before the 3 count, and the British Bulldog was disqualified. Now, the Patriot rushed to Vader's defense, but in the end, the All-Americans succumbed to the strength of Canada's first family. And talk about rubbing salt in the wounds, the Harts covered the fallen Patriot and Vader in Canadian flags. Oh my, the flag match at Bad Blood, I cannot wait. But folks, I'll tell you the truth. They're talking about the main event at WWF Bad Blood all over the world. Hell in a Cell, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels in a cage just like this. Chain link fence. It is going to be awesome. I'll tell you what, the Heartbreak Kid just poured fuel on the fire this past week on Raw. Well, let's put it this way. HBK poured an entire oil refinery on the flames. It all began with Hunter Hearst Helmsley being forced by Commissioner Slaughter to meet The Undertaker.
And as far as you go...
Now, before the match, Shawn and Triple H attacked The Undertaker. Finally, after a melee outside the ring, the match begins. It didn't last long. Shawn Michaels' insurance policy, ravishing Rick Rude, sneaks into the ring and hits The Undertaker with a briefcase. It's now 4-on-1. Hunter, Chyna, Rude, and Shawn against The Undertaker. Well, HBK delivers a little sweet chin music and knocks out the Phenom. The Gang of Four then managed to bury The Undertaker in a body bag. But the man from the dark side rises from the dead and chases the quartet back to the locker room. Actually, Shawn had to escape by climbing the Titantron. But Shawn, there will be no escape at Bad Blood. This is just a sample. Look at the real cage. The most awesome structure ever built in the history of the WWF. A chain link fence, a roof on top. Once you're in, you can't get out, and there's no way anyone can get in to help you out. Shawn, it's finally one-on-one. The odds are even inside that cage. And get this, the winner of Hell in a Cell gets a shot at the WWF champion at Survivor Series in November. Folks, don't forget, WWF Bad Blood in your house this Sunday, the 5th of October at 12 midnight, live on Sky Sports 1. The main event, Hell in a Cell. Folks, I'll be back next week with another edition of WWF Update. I'm Michael Cole. Have a great week, everybody. Hey, UK, I'm Michael Cole, and this is your WWF Update. All I can say is simply, wow. What a week in the World Wrestling Federation. There's a new monster among us. A new clique is born, and the Hearts don't like it. Stone Cold delivers an ultimatum of his own to Vince McMahon, but what about Hell in a Cell, the main event at WWF Bad Blood in your house? The world is abuzz. Everyone's talking about it. It's even being called one of the greatest matches in the history of the World Wrestling Federation. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker locked in a unique cell with apparently no way out. For what seemed like an eternity, these two superstars battled in the cell. Momentum shifted, emotions ebbed and flowed. The Heartbreak Kid spinning out of control, at one point taking out his frustrations on an innocent cameraman. The cameraman was knocked out cold and was in desperate need of medical attention. So WWF officials decided to open the cell to get the injured worker out. Well, at this point, HBK escaped from the cell and The Undertaker followed. They battled on the shaky roof of the structure before Shawn fell almost 30 feet to the floor. Well, miraculously, HBK continued to fight, and eventually both men worked their way back into the cell. What happened next was something out of a horror movie. I'm going to sit down for this one, folks. Tell you what, it wasn't a movie for The Undertaker. It was reality. A red hue came over the Kiel Center. Smoke filled the arena, and Paul Bearer led a massive creature toward the cell, dressed in red, with an eerie red and black mask. With ease, this monster ripped the cell door off its hinges. The Undertaker stood shocked with a look we've never, ever seen before. His jaw dropped. This was Kane, The Undertaker's brother. The creature confronted the Phenom standing toe-to-toe, eye-to-eye. Then the unthinkable happened. Kane delivered a tombstone pile driver, leaving The Undertaker flat on the mat. Well, as the man in scarlet left, Shawn Michaels covered The Undertaker, winning the match and the chance to meet Bret Hart for the WWF Championship at Survivor Series. Wow, but Bad Blood wasn't all about Hell in a Cell and doom and gloom. We have two new champions. Owen Hart defeated Farouk to become a two-time Intercontinental title holder, but give the assist to Stone Cold Steve Austin, who hit Farouk with the belt to help Owen win. What's the Rattlesnake thinking about? And the Godwins? They're the new WWF Tag Team Champions. They beat Mosh and Thrasher, the Headbangers, to win the gold. Hey, when we return to the WWF Update, there's a new clique in town, and yours truly had a front row seat for the introduction. Hey, UK, welcome back to WWF Update. I'm Michael Cole. Okay, this next story, you're going to need a scorecard to help you keep track of all the players. Let's take you back to this past week on Raw. Ahmed Johnson and Ken Stone Cold doesn't want anyone to win the Intercontinental title until he gets a chance to do so when he meets Owen for the belt at Survivor Series November 9th in Montreal. Folks, also at Survivor Series, Bret Hart defends the WWF Championship against Shawn Michaels. I can't wait. And folks, some late-breaking news. We found out the teams of four are already being formed to compete at Survivor Series. Ahmed Johnson, Ken Shamrock, the Legion of Doom will team up to take on the Nation of Domination. And what about this one? The Disciples of Apocalypse, led of course by Crush, will take on the Truth Commission and that 7-foot, 350-pound interrogator. Wow, November 9th in Montreal. In UK, you have the opportunity to see it all live Sunday, November 9th at 12 midnight on Sky Sports 1. You're not going to want to miss it. Well, folks, thanks for joining me on WWF Update. I'm Michael Cole. I'll see you next week.